Hey guys, welcome back to Honkai Star Rail. In today's video, we got round 2 of the Timaeuss Cup. Now, I'll let Timaeuss introduce the cup and all the rules to it in a second. I just wanted to put this little intro in to let you guys know what was happening. But basically, Timaeuss has created this PvP tournament for Memory of Chaos using other creators to compete, which is absolutely fantastic. And he asked me if we could upload it to my channel. And of course, I said yes. So all the credit for this goes to Timaeuss. All I did was rock up and help Grimo cast. He did all the organizing, organized all the editing, everything like that. So be sure to go show him some love, and also all the other creators involved in this tournament. I'll have links to all their channels in the description and the pinned comment, so be sure to go ahead and give them some love. But that's it from me. Let's get into the video.
Hey everyone, Timaeuss here, and welcome to the second Timaeuss Cup for Honkai Star Rail, where we turn the PvE Memory of Chaos mode into a PvP game, pitting 4 different players across 2 different teams against each other. Now, if you haven't seen the first Timaeuss Cup, do check it out. We saw some crazy plays from the physical MC as well as QQ. In today's competition on Team 1, we have a MrPokke, a returning member, along with a Gacha Smack. And on Team 2, I myself will be playing alongside Phu as well. And we're all content creators, so the channel links will be down below for you to check out. Now, the rules of the tournament are quite simple. The teams are competing to see who can clear Memory of Chaos 10 the fastest. We'll be starting with a ban phase, and each team can submit 2 unit bans and a light cone ban for a total of 4 unit bans and 2 light cone bans. We always protect, however, the latest banner, so in this case Kafka as well as Luca cannot be banned, and both teams can pick those 2 units up. Now, followed by the picking phase, and since Team 1 will have the first ban choice, they will be picking second. Now Team 2, because they are banning second, they'll also have a first pick. However, Team 1's advantage would be that they will pick up 2 units right after the first pick of Team 2, allowing them to run more combos and snatching more high value units in succession. And before we jump into the ban and pick phase with Grimroll and the Vulcan, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this video. And General Jing Yuan of Shenzhou Lofu has kindly sponsored this tournament to let us know about the upcoming banners in version 1.3 of Honkai Star Rail. Starting us off with Danghan Imbibitor Lune, the insane hyper carry that will blow every single DPS chart out of the water. And of course, we can also see the general's old friend Dang Feng in the shadows of the Imbibitor Lune. Next, the upcoming General in Training Fu Xuan, the Quantum Preservation Tank, will be able to keep your entire team alive by her solo sustaining capabilities, and also offering buffs to your hyper carries as well. So thank you, General, for letting us know about the 2 upcoming units, and let's dive right in. Take it away, Grimroll and Vulcan.
Alright, so welcome to Picks and Bans. I'm joined here with Vulcan, I'm Grimro, and we're going to see what the teams are going to be. Vulcan, do you have any predictions on what our teams are going to end up as?
No real predictions. It's always tough for these pick and ban type things. I'm interested to see the bans, because it's always a tough decision, because you're also banning yourself from that access. So really keen if these guys have looked at each other's accounts to know who's got what stacked on what they're going to ban, but definitely keen to see what happens.
All right, here comes the first ban. We've got Pokke's team banning Silver Wolf here. A huge ban, definitely going to be turning off that vulnerability access there.
100%. That's just an easy ban for the other team, but also you do lose access, so that may have been a core part of someone's team that we don't know.
Absolutely here. We've got Tim's team banning Natasha out, really starting to whittle down those healers. Could be kind of denying those healers there. If they turn all of those off, things could be getting pretty tough.
Also, loss of access to the cleanse as well could be an issue. We'll have to wait and see.
Absolutely, yeah, that could definitely be pretty tough here. And Poke, okay, we've got our light cone banned here, banning out Sele's light cone, hopefully hindering her potential. She is one of the most played DPS, so hindering her now is definitely maybe a good option.
100%. I think it's honestly, the cones are a very interesting one. It's versatile as well. It's not just for Zilla. You can use that on any hunt character, so almost out of the mix now.
Definitely. I think it's definitely a worthwhile one. Oh my gosh, out of nowhere, Tim's team banned Planetary Rendezvous here. I have no idea. That is definitely a very interesting choice of light cone there. Why would you think they would have banned that, Vulcan?
Must be looking at core synergies between elements. I honestly don't know why that would have been the pick for them, but maybe they had a strategy that they're banning with from themselves. I don't know.
Absolutely. Okay, well, I mean, on to our unit ban. Second round here, we've got a Sushang ban from Pokke. Wow, really just ignoring all those top tier 5 stars and going straight for the 4-star ban there.
That one must be a bit of an insight into the enemy players, and I don't know, has anyone posted something using Sushang to clap it? I don't know on that one.
I mean, maybe there's some secret tech or someone on the other team uses Sushang or something like that. Okay, Tim coming out with the double healer ban here, picking up that Bailu ban, really limiting things off. Remember, he is getting first pick, his team, so it definitely makes sense here.
100% must be making it look like obviously Luoch and Japad being the two big ones, and then maybe running hyper carries in the other side, trying to just clap it without needing the heals.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Okay, yeah, he does. He picks up the last remaining healer, Luocha, here, so he is going to lock that in, and the enemy team has no real healers other than Japad to pick.
Yeah, that's just a completely solid first pick based on those bans. That was clearly the strategy moving straight into it by Tim.
Absolutely, it's a good choice. And Pokke, now he gets 2 picks here for his team. He does pick up the remaining sustaining character in Japad, and also scoops up Tinyun, a great accompaniment for a lot of characters.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, when you get locked out of any sustain units and Japad's your only one, the next thing you look to is that hyper carry team. So you're going to try and pick up the supports that enable that one. Otherwise, you're kind of boned.
Yep, kill them before they kill you. Absolutely. And Tim taking Asta here with Bronya still on the board. He goes for Asta. Oh my goodness. What do you think of that?
That's interesting. Maybe he's got to play his lining up for this the first boss of the fight, because maybe when he's got Luoch, he's like, okay, I'm kind of set in the Kafka side. Now we need to pick up a support for the fire side. That's my assumption.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, Pokke's team immediately fires back, stealing Bronya away. Their opportunity for Tim to have him was there, but now Pokke takes it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a solid pick. That's telegraphed. That was a pretty good solid pick.
Absolutely. I mean, Bronya is top tier, absolutely. Okay, Tim, coming back, taking up Pella here. Well, there's not too many supports left, so Pella definitely makes sense. Definitely very flexible, especially with Kafka in mind.
100%. You would have thought that he would have gone for something else because they've already got the strip. So the Pella strip isn't needed, but obviously it's pretty much all that's left for them to pick.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Pokke now, first damage dealer on the board, Sampo. Okay, definitely telegraphing a big Kafka composition here.
Also, obviously, with the current the cycle buff, the memory chaos buff, it's a solid choice.
Absolutely. Getting that extra dot damage at the end of every cycle is good. Okay, Tim. All right, he's looking in his first damage deal for his team here in Blade. A huge pick here.
Blade, obviously. I mean, I'm curious to see how they go with avoiding the dot on their first damage pick, but it should be fine. Blade is a solid unit, but I always think of him more as that reliable, consistent unit as opposed to that hyper carry, like let's just dump them unit.
Well, he does have the God combo in Blade and Luocha here. Next up, Pokke's going to be stealing up Yukong here. Wow, okay, they've got 3 supports already here, so definitely focusing on that hyper carry team you mentioned.
Definitely looks like the case, and pretty much safe pick there. Otherwise, they're going for probably like 5 DPS units, and I think that extra support's probably the way to go.
Absolutely. Okay, Tim grabbing Welt here. A bit of a utility and damage hybrid pick here. Definitely a bit of a lower play rate one, though. Maybe a bit of an insult here at Pokke, who was a guaranteed Welt player.
I mean, the Welt is an interesting one because when we're looking at the fast clears, he's not the first thing that comes to mind, but he does buff that damage, so might be my inexperience with Welt as I've never pulled one.
Yeah, I think definitely a bit of a shot across the bow at Pokke, the biggest Welt enjoyer. All right, though, Pokke is going to grab Himiko of all characters with so many big ones on the board here. Well, she definitely gets her time to shine here, maybe.
Honestly, I really like that pick. I am a big Himiko fan, like a bit of a closet Himiko fan. Obviously, I'm big on QQ, but Himiko, I can get around that pick. Kind of makes sense. Really solid for clearing out the trash. And honestly, I think she's actually not a bad pick.
Maybe she's going to be secretly powerful here. Let's see. Okay, Tim, going to pick up a little bit more sustain here for his team in Fire main character. Definitely not exceptionally strong, but a solid unit nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, he's still only got the Luocha on his side for the defensive, so he kind of needs that other option.
Absolutely. Oh, okay. Pokke looking in an early Kafka. Kafka is protected here, but just wanted to getting it out of the way there.
Yeah, I mean, my only guess is like they're going for the safe picks for the final 2, but we'll have to see what the final pick is.
Yep, okay, Tim going for genuine here. Okay, so he's got 3 damage dealers on his team now to select from, but No sign of Kafka yet for Tim.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming we can lock that in for his final spot, but Jing is another interesting one. So he must be looking at just like Blade Welt on the one side, and then I'm assuming going Lightning on the other side.
Okay, Pokke goes for the Lukaf to complete the full team here. Definitely looking a bit like a Kafka Luka Sampo team here, which is very, very aggressive.
100%, and I'm very curious to see this one. I'm assuming we're going to get the Kafka on Tim's final one, so let's just see what that happens to be as well.
Yep, locks in the Kafka. So 4 damage dealers for Tim there. Ooh, very interesting, and they're all big hitters.
100%. I'm very curious to see this. The Pokke team just looks more what I was sort of expecting, and it looks like Tim's team just sort of gave him free reign to pick up the dot synergies.
Definitely looks that way, but sustain is going to be the number one question because we're going to have to see some pretty fast clears to ensure our teams don't go down here. And Himiko might be the standout star after all. We'll have to see.
With all the healer bans we've seen, Phu's team looks to be going all in on offense for Team 1 on side 1 here. Kafka will almost certainly be the main damage carry, using her skill every action she possibly can. Asta will be the primary support, looking to keep her ultimate and charging stacks up almost permanently, to give Kafka and the rest of the team way more speed and way more actions. That's going to cost a lot of skill points though, so Pella and Fire main character are likely going to be spamming their basics as much as possible, while also trying to provide as much utility as possible. Phu can rely on Fire main character's taunt here and there, but it's going to be risky. Phu is up first here for Team 1, and he has certainly got a very aggressive team. He's going to be wanting to look for fast cycle clears, not only for the competition, but also so he survives. Do you think he's going to be able to get it done here? He's looking for a 0 cycle on wave 1 here.
A 0 cycle? I mean, I wouldn't be able to do that, but I mean, he's got a pretty decent setup. Like, I asked her for the break against the fire units. We obviously got the Kafka as well. We don't have as much dot synergy, so it's more of just Kafka doing all the work. We do have the burn that we can get from the breaks and also from Asta's basics, so I'm curious to see how it plays out.
Absolutely, that Asta ultimate is looking like it's going to be sticking around and staying up most of the time. And by what I can see here, that Kafka is looking very, very fast. He's likely going to be getting 2 to 3 actions per cycle here with that Kafka. So that's going to be a massive amount of skill point consumption, but it looks like Pella and Fire main character are doing their job nicely. He's got 5 skill points in the bank there. How do you think he's going to spend those?
Man, the dude is stacked. I'd be playing it a little bit conservative with maybe a taunt here and there, but this is AoE fight, so you can't really stress about it. So I guess he's just going to cap, use it on Asta and use it on the old Kafka and do as much damage as possible.
Oh, absolutely, but it looks like the enemy isn't even getting a chance to do anything with those breaks from Asta, Pella, Fire main character, and Kafka. They just haven't even had a chance to respond. Now, he is starting to use his skill points here or there. There is that Asta ultimate again, really keeping that high uptime there. And the Pella ult straight off the rip there to immediately get that death shred.
100%.
Looks like it's going to be a little bit rough here, though. These enemies have no break bar damage on them so far, and they're about to move. Do you think he's going to be able to survive?
I tell you what, that wasn't too bad. Okay, he's looking to spread the break by the look of it, because that first Asta skill went all on one enemy, and then he split the enemies with the Kafka as well. I thought maybe he would have gone for the break all in on one, but he is looking for that quick clear, so he's trying to get it, bring him down evenly by the looks of it.
Absolutely, but all the damage he's taking is permanent, and Pella is at half health here, and the enemies are going to get another chance to attack here, it looks like. Here it comes. Oh my goodness. Okay, very lucky going into that Fire main character there. Very nice. So how do you think that these breaks are going to play out? Is he going to be able to get it done in a low amount of cycles? So far, it looks like he's only used 1 cycle.
This would be interesting to see what his builds are. I'm curious to see what the break is on his Fire MC. Based on what he's trying to do, I'd imagine his Fire MC would also have very high break effect, going for that extra damage for the fast clears. So I'm curious to see what Kafka procs on this skill. Not too bad, but obviously not the same effect as having a pure dot. That dot was huge on the proc there. And
absolutely, that end of cycle trigger really paying a lot of dividends there. Looks like he's going to get it done in just 2 cycles here. There it is. Here it comes. And there it is. Phu finishes it off in 2 cycles.
That wasn't bad at all. That was pretty solid. The thing that really worked in his favor in that one was definitely that cycle buff from the MOC we currently have going on.
For Team 2, MrPokke seems to be going all in on Himiko with an incredibly sink or swim team, triple supporting her with no defense to mention. Himiko will almost certainly be using her skill every action, and Yukong, Bronya, and Tingyun will likely take turns between using their basics and their powerful supporting skills and ultimates. We now have MrPokke kicking it off for Team 2 here, with another incredibly offensive team here consisting of Himiko and 3 supports. How do you think this is going to play out, Vulcan? Is he going to be able to survive?
Well, this is the most hyper Himiko I've ever seen, but obviously in the draft, they kind of got shafted on the defensive supports. They've only got Japad for their defensive supports to use, so this one's obviously going for as hyper carry as possible, and with the cleave from Himiko, I guess that's the plan, just to be able to cleave down all the adds that this boss summons, and then also get the 2 enemy bosses down at the same time. I am rapt to be seeing some Himiko action in this one, though.
Absolutely, we just saw a phenomenal zero cycle there on wave 1, thanks to the talent of Himiko here, and we see so many fire and lightning weak enemies here. I think that talent might be kind of insane. There it is again. Do you think, wow, that was some serious damage.
Dude, what is this thing built on? That is more than my single target damage deals. That ult doing 94. Damn.
Jeez, and those ads just instantly summoned and deleted with that talent from Himiko. We're seeing a crazy performance here, and right now on 0 cycles, so they're definitely ahead. The question is, are they going to be able to get this enemy down on the 0 cycle?
Definitely. He took some time to think about it. He's got the ult available, so he's deciding whether he skills into Himiko or tries to ult it. He looks like he is going to use that skill. So is this going to actually get the clear before the cycle ends? It's going to get the break, so it should.
Well, there is also the ultimate available for Himiko,
okay.
but saving that ultimate. Oh,
it looked like he was spamming that ultimate just in case it didn't work. That was good play because it resets when you move cycle.
Oh, absolutely. That was definitely a good play there. So we do have 2 fire weak enemies here for Himiko to absolutely shred up with her 3 supports here. Do you think it's going to be possible to beat that 2-cycle team from earlier, though?
We'll have to see. It's all about getting one broken, because if we break one of them, we do get that follow-up attack, which is going to deal some juicy damage, and then we really want those breaks as well. I think it's going to take at least 1 cycle, because you want to get that cycle buff from the MOC to tick that extra damage, but you really want to break them before then, which we're not going to get.
Absolutely, but Yukong is incredibly low right now, and the enemies look like they might get another attack coming in. Although the skill points are also looking a little low for MrPokke here. He's now going in and having a bit of a look at what he wants to do with his Bronya. Use the basic attack or the skill, definitely a tough call here. But Himiko is up next, so very likely going to be that basic attack. Yep, there it is. He's got a lot of damage and break to get done though, if he wants to get this done quickly.
And he should, if he can get 1 more turn through that Bronya, giving an extra skill, he might just get it. It's not going to get the full Tingyun ult to buff, so he's just going to have to waste that basic there.
Is he going to go for the skill here on Yukong though? Because, oh, he does. Okay, so he does look like he's going all in here on this final attack with Himiko. The ult,
fully buffed.
The Yukong skill, fully buffed here. Can he get it done? Looks like he's getting a huge break on the left one. There is the talent. Oof, so close. Oh my gosh, Yukong and Himiko are almost down.
Oh, and Himiko is CC'd. Otherwise, he could have had it.
Fortunately, Bronya can boost her back though.
100%. But he was never going to clear it in that cycle, so he's pretty safe to get it in this one, though, I feel. I feel like he's got it now. Gets that follow-up, which was on cue from when getting CC'd.
Oh, there it is. Big damage. And we have a Tingyun ultimate as well. Definitely looks like it's going to be a pretty simple clear here. And it's going to be wrapping up in 2 cycles here, which is a neck and neck with Team 1 Boost Run.
Tim looks to be sporting a more traditional double DPS comp consisting of Blade and Genuine. This works thanks to Blade's low skill point costs. For supports and sustain, he's got Welt and Luocha. Welt will likely be using his basic attack a good amount of times, but might use his skill and ultimate to provide support to Blade and Jing.
So taking over for Team 1 here, we have Tim with a very, very interesting team focusing on Blade and Genuine. The question I have for you, Vulcan, is with all these lightning resistance enemies, do you think Jing is going to be able to pull out the win for him here?
Well, he's going to have to do the best he can. I know Tim had some issues in drafting because he's got so many E6 characters, so he did get left with whatever he had. I mean, great auto team when we look at the Blade Luocha, but can he get it done in cycles? That's the question.
Absolutely, and the first thing we're looking for is, can he get this early wave done here in 0 cycles? That Luocha ultimate, dispelling all those revival effects, is huge. Oh, and there it is. He just barely gets it done in 0 cycles here. On to wave 2.
Getting that damage buff up. He's going to have to be wary of the revivals as well, those guys being resistant to the wind. So he's got resistances to dance around throughout this whole thing, but if he can just keep this guy CC'd with Welt and slow him down enough, we could get some big damage out of the Lightning Lord on this proc.
Absolutely, it's almost like he's playing a 3 damage team instead of a 2 damage team, using that wealth where he needs to for that crowd control and also that
Gonna need that ult
damage.
now to strip. Yep, 100%. All the way, get that strip.
Perfect. Okay, outstanding. Looks like he's getting this done phenomenally quickly. Blade and Jing and Welt all putting in massive damage with Luocha on support here.
And he's going to have Welt's ult up pretty early in the next cycle as well for that damage buff. Also for a bit of, safe time for him. But he doesn't really have to worry about the damage. All he needs to worry about is these cycles. And he is going to get it done here with that Lightning Lord perfectly on the cycle.
This is an incredibly fast pace for a team which he said he wasn't too confident in. Looks like Jing and Blade really putting out the damage here. Just Kafka to go here. Oh, the domination on Jing though.
That's okay. He should have the cleanse before Jing's move. Or did he miss a move there?
He might have. He didn't get the cleanse off on Jing there. Oh,
Rip.
there it is. There it is. Okay, finally getting that cleanse and Jing is back in the battle.
Definitely what you need in this one. Without that cleanse, you could be in a bit of a pickle, but obviously we got the Luocha who does have 2 chances to do it, whether it's by auto or whether it's on his active use, but it is definitely a must-have in this one.
Absolutely, and a perfectly timed ultimate there for Luocha. Looks like Tim was saving that for those enemies that were going to come in, and he could strip that revival effect and lifesteal effect right off there.
Ooh, well getting low, but obviously we got the Luocha in there, not an issue. Like I said, survival's not really a big issue. Could have been an issue there if the Luocha got hit by that attack though, because he was already low, but luckily the RNG worked. Blade getting that follow-up into an ult, perfectly timed.
Just absolutely huge damage there coming out from Blade. 100k hit there with the windbreak. Definitely looks like Tim is going to be cleaning this up quick, smart. Even though that lightning resistance is there, Jing definitely seems to be putting in some pretty decent work as well, alongside
Look,
Blade.
putting everything in there to try and get the Lightning Lord to clean it up in this cycle, but will it get there? Just missing it out. Kafka at 13% after that cycle shift, and he will get it pretty safely in this cycle though.
Absolutely. Looks like he's going to be on track for a 3-cycle clear here, which is definitely not bad at all for side 2. And I think they can definitely be pretty confident they've got a fighting chance here to get the big W here in this tournament. It's all going to come down to the last round.
Team 2's Gacha Smack's team looks incredibly well-rounded, sporting the traditional Kafka main carry and Sampo and Luca sub-DPS composition, with Japad as the solo sustainer. The main question is how Gacha Smack is going to deal with the mind control from Kafka in MOC side 2 without any form of cleanse. It could get a little dicey. Team 2's Gacha Smack is up next, and he's got a big task ahead of him, but I can see a bit of a challenge here. His team doesn't have a cleanse on it. Vulcan, is he going to be okay up against the enemy Kafka in the final wave with those charms?
I tell you, it's something you never want to bring in without is that cleanse, because it is huge and obviously RNG dependent. He's only got 1 defensive unit, so you obviously want to keep that unit available to yourself, but you don't really want to lose the damage either. So I don't think he has a preferred target to get charmed. He's just going to have to play it as it is.
Yep, absolutely. So he's looking for a 0-cycle clear here. Can he get it done? It looks like, ooh, he's going to miss that 0-cycle there. Those pesky enemies with those revival effects really giving a bit of trouble there. He only has one way to deal with those buffs on the enemies, and that is Luca's skill. How do you think he's going to be able to use Luca to get these buffs off there?
Unfortunately, I think that's just part of what he's got. This boss is cater-made to the Luocha and Blade combo, and he doesn't have that. At least he does have that 1 buff removal, so he's just going to have to focus on the boss and just work on double killing those adds. There's no point trying to spread the damage, put it all in on the boss, and just try and nuke him whilst letting those adds just do what they have to do, because you don't want that boss healing. That is the most important thing.
Absolutely. Having that boss heal is really counterproductive, especially when you're racing for cycles. And unfortunately, on wave 1, it looks like he did get a little unfortunate and ended up spending more cycles than he would have wanted to. So he's got a lot of ground to make up here in order to get back to where he can compete with Tim's run earlier. Big ultimate from Sampo there. How do you think he's going to go for time here?
I think he's going to struggle just a little bit. I just feel like he just got the bad end of the draft on this one. Before Kafka came out, there was a lot of speculation around running her with 2 other dot dealers, but without that buffing unit, especially something like an Asta would have been huge for him in here for obviously the speed, getting him around to cycle a bit faster, but unfortunately he doesn't have that, so he is forced just to play with what he has due to the draft, and those wind shear dots stacking up huge. Luckily, Japad's shield is quite large.
Absolutely, it is truly massive, but that is a lot of wind shears, and that's the other portion of this team. Every piece of damage dealt to Gacha Smack's teams is permanent because he doesn't have a healer. Do you think his units are going to get through this alive and unscathed, or is he going to lose a few members here and there?
I think it's all going to come down to the charm and what happens on this first charm with Kafka, so we're about to find out exactly what's going to happen here.
It is about to come in, and with no tools at his disposal to deal with it, he's going to have to take what RNG gives to him. So who would you want the charm to land on if it was going to happen?
I'm kind of thinking not Luca, because you need to cleanse. So he's the one you just don't want it to happen on, because you need him to cleanse, to dispel the buff from the boss.
Oh, there it goes on Japad. Oh, so he's not able to use the shield. Oh my gosh, Japad is going so low here.
It's actually probably the best result now that we see it, because you can just allow that Japad to just drop and die and proc his passive to come back. A passive which, to be honest, not normally gets used on Japad, but this is going to be a very niche situation. It's like it was custom built for Gacha Smack's run.
Absolutely, but he does have that ultimate available. He does go down and proc that, but oh, there it is, the instant ultimate right as he gets back.
100%. He was spamming that button ready for the play because he knew that was coming. So he did get the freeze on the boss there because he has not stripped the healing off the boss. He needs Luca to strip this boss straight away with the skill right here. Otherwise, the boss is going to heal up.
Oh, goes for Kafka instead, really prioritizing that damage and getting her out of the way here, doing big damage. But yeah, that healing buff is still on that boss with a big heal from that AoE. Holy, what was that? That cycle explosion.
Yeah, unfortunately, just to the draft once again, I think that was the play. The Kafka was the play to not wipe, because you don't want to wipe especially, but unfortunately, it is going to cost time letting that boss heal up. But now you should be pretty fine to do it, but unfortunately, time is his enemy.
Absolutely, and this enemy is unfortunately lightning resistant as well, so Kafka won't be doing her full damage. Gonna have to rely on Sampo as well as Luca to finish things off here.
Yeah, should get some pretty big damage during the cycle change due to the MOC buff, though. At least getting some chunk to finish it off.
Oof, yes. Looks like it's gonna go down.
And he's not gonna get the cleanse there, so hopefully he can proc the death here. Otherwise, the boss was about to heal up again.
There it is, 8 cycles to get it done.
So that is going to be it for round 2 of the Timaeuss Cup. We have Fu and Tim taking it out using only 4 cycles, defeating Pokke and Smack using their 10 cycles. It was a great tournament. I loved watching what these guys came up with. I honestly thought Pokke and Smack had the better draft going into it, but honestly, that Himiko was an absolute monster that I was hoping for but not expecting. So that was fantastic. Once again, all of these creators' links will be in the description, along with Grimro, who was the one helping cast, who is another great creator in this space. But most of all, I just want to give another massive shout out to Timaeuss for organizing this and creating it. I can't organize anything to save my life, and this man did this whole thing and organized the editing. The editor did a great job as well. So massive shout out to him. All the links, including Timaeuss, will be in the description. Be sure to go show them some love. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.